Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is a 2025 Chevrolet Equinox LT, the new base trim that starts under $30,000. As this one is equipped, it's $33,000 and some change, which does, yes, include destination. In this video, I am going to take you on a first tour of this LT trim, show you what all you get for your money and how it compares to a very strong sellers in the crossover segment from Hyundai and Kia with their Tucson and Sportage, and the sales leaders from Toyota and Honda with their RAV4 and CR-V. All that and more. Stay tuned. Okay, the first thing I want to do is address a little elephant in the room by first saying a huge thank you to Drew and the team at Pedestrian Chevrolet here in Kilgore, Texas, for allowing me time with this incredibly hot, incredibly new vehicle from Chevrolet. Yes, that is why there is plastic on the steering wheel. I assure you, they did let me have this one. Did not steal it from them, but it could be yours. Head on over to Pedestrian Chevrolet in Kilgore, Texas. Let Drew know Corey sent you, and yeah, maybe this one could be yours. But coming to me, driving this one, I am very happy to be in this. Much like the RS I drove in yesterday's video, this is a very upscale, compact crossover from Chevrolet. I am very impressed with everything they've done inside and out and under the hood. This is using a single engine option with two different drivetrain options. You can get front or all-wheel drive. This LT happens to be a front-wheel drive model, and in fact, I'll tell you all about it under the hood. Starting under the hood, all Equinox models for 2025 get the same engine, but different powertrain options. You can opt for front or all-wheel drive, and that will determine what transmission you get. This LT is a front-wheel drive model, so it is mated to a continuously variable transmission. And what motivates it is the standard and only option 1.5 liter turbocharged for Evotex with variable valve timing. In this front-wheel drive trim, it makes 175 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. If we were to get the all-wheel drive, we would get an 8-speed hydromatic automatic transmission and just a few more torques from essentially the same engine. Very simplistic engine choice, engine lineup helps keep the cost down when you don't have a lot of complexity to the assembly process. One engine, two transmissions, two drivelines, fairly simple. And again, helps keep the cost down. This being the front wheel drive means we get the 184 pound-feet of torque with the continuously variable transmission, which I can tell you in this one is not terrible. I have not really had many bad experiences with CVTs from General Motors. It has been some of the other guys that have really made poor choices with their CVTs. Here, it's paired nicely with that 4-cylinder Evotex engine. I don't feel it at work. Driving around in normal conditions, it's going to do what its drivers are really asking of it, especially here in this LT trim, which should be their volume seller, especially for fleets and things like that. Yes, I still expect these to wind up on your enterprise rent-a-car lots, but when you get inside of them, you're treated to a very nice interior, which translates very nicely to, let's talk about the outside, and then we'll move here to the inside. Yes, when it comes to the style, I do believe Chevy has knocked it out of the park with the exterior design of this new Equinox. This being the LT model is essentially the base trim. We have got the chrome grille on this one, but you can opt for a dark grille if you don't like all the bling up front. This still being the base model, we get LED headlights, running lights, turn lights, fog lights, LED, all the things up front. We just don't get the unique styling that we saw in our RS review that really just kind of stood out as more sporty. Though I will say this is still a very handsome vehicle. All Equinox models have widened by 2.5 inches over the generation they replace, and they borrowed the boxier styling from the Traverse and even the 2025 Tahoe and Suburban. This really does fit in line with the brand's design strategy moving forward. In fact, with the update of the Equinox for 2025, every single crossover SUV in Chevrolet's lineup has been refreshed or updated in the past 2 years. So Chevrolet really has been going to work on their vehicles that sell the best. In fact, they have sold over 3 million Equinox vehicles. I had one back in 2011. There was a generation in between, but this is by far the best that they've ever looked. Coming down to the wheels and tires, this again being the base LT trim, gets 17-inch wheels wrapped in Firestone Destination HLT tires. So unlike these sporty wheels we saw yesterday in our RS, and the, I would say, aggressive on-road tires, we get the run-of-the-mill wheel design and tire here on the LT. You can see these are 235/65 are 17s. You can opt for 18s, and yes, we had 19s on the RS we took you on a tour of yesterday. As we pull around to the side, much like the chrome grille, we get a chrome Equinox badge on the door. I like its placement as opposed to something like the new Colorado that I feel it's like right underneath your window line. It's too high. It works here on the side of this one. In white, you can really see some of the design lines and angles on this. Just under that word Equinox on the passenger front door, you can see we've got a little design inset there, low above the black lower cladding. And then we've got this body line back here that goes up and into the C-pillar here. This C-pillar very much borrows from the larger Traverse. It's that shark fin style and leads into a rear window that separates the roof from the rest of the body. Very nice, very clean looking design, very handsome all the way around. As we come around to the back, even on this LT model, we get full LED lights, LED running lights, brake lights, turn lights, all the things LED back here. So no incandescent light bulbs. Really do like that. Again, we get a carryover of the chrome Equinox badge back here. No LT badging on this one. Again, it serves as the base model. The other two trims are Active and RS, both of which do get some distinct exterior styling and distinct badges. This is a power liftgate with the release right behind the bow tie there. And you can see we open up to a very decent sized cargo space, though we've got a lot of stuff in this one because it is still being borrowed from a dealer. They have just taken delivery on it. So I'm not going to mess with it too much. You can go see our friends at Pedestrian Chevrolet here in Kilgore, Texas. But I can tell you the cubic space back here, 29.8 cubic feet behind the rear seat. That is more than is behind the third row of a Chevy Tahoe. Fold that 60/40 rear bench down and you get 63.5 cubic feet. Though I will note, there are no latches or releases back here like the previous generation to fold those seats down. So you're either going to reach up front like this to fold them down, or you're going to go around to the side to do it. I will go ahead and peek underneath here. You can see we do have a spare tire underneath, another false load floor down here. Again, go check out our RS video. I show off that just a little bit more underneath. Though, coming to me, I'm 5'10". You can see I am underneath the rear hatch. Opens up plenty nice and wide. And we do have the power button to close it right there. You push it and almost immediately starts moving. So definitely get out of the way, but it does come to a nice soft close. Before I climb in this one, I do want to show you the key. Typical Chevy proximity key, nothing too special about it. Lock, unlock, remote start, hatch release. your panic button, and you can remote or access a physical key if you have to, but you don't really need the key out because you can just walk up to the vehicle. There's no passive entry, but you can lock and unlock it from that button right there. Only on the front doors, however, it does not carry on to the back doors. Coming to the doors themselves, very unique interior options here on this LT that are distinct from the RS that I previously showed you. The materials here on the door are similar but different. There's actually texture to this, where the RS had a smooth finish to it but a different design. Very nice, interesting look here, and it's not overdone. We do get a little bit of gloss black plastic, which isn't my favorite because you are going to be grabbing right here. You can see there's already some smudges. Express up down for the driver only. That seems a bit odd, and no memory seats here on the LT like we saw on the RS, though these seats do come with all the same power motions, including two-way lumbar. This does have the optional Evotex seats, but we don't get all the contrasting stitching materials that we saw on the RS. No piping, no red and blue stitching, but it is still a very handsome, very comfortable seat. And while these are perforated, they are only heated, not ventilated. We're going to go ahead and climb in. Close the door. Yes, I apologize. I did borrow this from a dealer. You can see it's got 6 miles on the odometer right now. And so I don't want to take off all the plastic before they have had a chance to really dive into it. You can see we do have a full digital suite of gauges here in front of me, and a full digital screen here for infotainment. That does include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless. That is only in the EVs that do not include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So if you like Chevrolet products, if you like the Equinox, and you must have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, look at the gas-powered version for that. I will go ahead and start over my left knee here. Turbine style air vents, very much reminiscent of what we saw in the Blazer EV, and they are black here in the LT, whereas they were red in the RS. More of that door material, which does carry across the entire dash. I really like the design of these air vents, and they blow air very nicely. They're very good sized and placed. Over my knee here, we have our brightness controls for the gauges, auto hold, brake for when you're in traffic, auto start stop of the engine when you're in traffic, and an electronic parking brake. No physical controls for your lights because those have been relegated, much like many other Chevrolet vehicles, to the screen here. You can turn them on that way. That's all of your headlight functionality, but there's this quick access button here that can make you high school cool if you want to turn your fog lamps on. It's also a few other quick access buttons that you would want. Your dome lights, lockout of your rear window controls if you've got kids back there playing with windows, and your camera button. Good 360 cameras here in this one. As this one sits, it's 33,000 and some change with destination, because we do have a few comfort and convenience packages on it. But I like, even here on what is essentially the base model, you still get very good, very clear, crisp 360 cameras. In fact, if I put it into reverse, we even get trajectory, both on the bird's eye and straight back behind us. I like that a lot. Multiple different camera angles, very much like every other Chevrolet product. Again, full digital gauge cluster here, very similar as to what we were seeing in the new 2025 Tahoe and Suburban, the new Traverse. We're seeing this gauge screen in pretty much every new Chevrolet. Same with the steering wheel, very reminiscent of the latest Chevrolet products that we've tested. In fact, the latest General Motors products we've tested. So all your controls are here with your volume and tuning on the backside. The steering wheel on this one, I noted when I was driving the RS just how thickly rimmed it was. That is still true here on the LT, though we don't get a flat bottom or anything. It is still a very nice, hefty steering wheel. There's a lot of wheel here to grab. and it is very nice, even though, yes, it is still wrapped from the dealership. But I assure you, they did let me have this one. Coming down to the dual zone climate controls, this is taken straight out of the Chevy Colorado. You can see we have heated front seats, but not ventilated front seats. So we've got a couple of blanks here where the ventilated buttons would be. Otherwise, everything is very easy to operate once you know where all the buttons are. Very quick and easy to use. We've got that same textured material from the doors here on the dash. I really love this dash design. It really classes up this interior and does not make this look like a compact crossover, which I know is one of the most competitive classes. The RS got a red to black fade here on this plastic panel here, but we still get a very interesting design on this LT. Again, just kind of elevating the design here a little bit. We get USB-A and USB-C input here for the infotainment system if you must plug in wired. And then we get some rubberized storage mats right here and hard storage right here. If you remember from our RS video, there was a knob here for the 2 drive modes. I like this better. Give me more storage, because I feel like that drive mode controller for 2 drive modes was just a little overrated. Qi wireless charger right here that is very interesting and unique in that it's sideways like this, and because I do have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, while it's charging on its side, it will go into standby mode here. Just something interesting I noticed. You will see there is no mechanical brindle here. There are no push button controls. It has all been moved here to an electronic selector on the steering column. Again, we see this in Traverse, Blazer EV, Equinox EV, and the new Suburbans and Tahoes for 2025. That frees up some storage down here underneath with a rubberized mat that I really like as well. So storage here, cup holders here, storage down here, very nice. Center console is very nice as well. We've got this little shelf here that's removable, though if you put anything hard in here, it will rattle. But down here, we do have a rubberized mat, but you can see just how deep it is. And then again, more of that texturized material up here on top. I really like the use of materials in here. Yes, it is a very black interior, which is not my favorite. But it does work. The different use of materials really does translate nicely. Coming up here to the rearview mirror, even again on this LT, which serves as the base model, we get a rear view camera mirror, though you can see that is what my view is out the back with the actual mirror. We get some storage for for sunglasses right here, and no panoramic glass roof in this model, though me at 5'10", I've got plenty of headroom. I'm very comfortable in this one as it sits, and again, power seats, so very comfortable up here, very easy to find my perfect seating position, including a tilt and telescoping steering wheel, so I like that a whole lot. Now let's go check out that back seat and just how much room is back there. As we walk up to the back door, I do want to show you the window sticker. Again, a 33/270, if you can see that with the glare. 26 city, 28 highway, 27 combined, so very competitive in the class. Open the doors. They open fairly wide, though it's not a full 90 degrees, so getting a child seat in there, you'll just kind of have to twist it a little bit, but I don't see it being any main issue. More of that same material here on the doors, more rubberized storage here, and non-rubberized storage down here, your window control. You're not treated like a second-class citizen back here. Same design on the seats back here in the back. And if you want to fold the seats down, there is this little notch here for you to put your seatbelt. If I can get this in on camera, it is a nice and snug fit, so that when you do fold those seats down like I showed you earlier, the seatbelt is not getting in the way. Nice transition from seat to the rear cargo area, but I'll go ahead and pull that out. Go ahead and also climb in behind myself. At 5'10", you can see, I'll leave the door open for some light. There is good leg room. I'm very comfortable behind myself. We have a mat pocket here, mat pocket there, a couple of USB-C ports on the back. This is where the heated seat buttons were on the RS, and the power was located down here, but in the LT, we've got more accessible power just above the AC vents, and a little bit of storage here, though I really do not know what you're going to be putting in here. Maybe a pack of to-go Kleenex. I really don't know. It's very small. But yes, a very nice interior. Back here we have a fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders. And then I already showed you the 60/40 seats. We've got removable hard plastic covers for the lower latch points, which make those very easy to get to, but you don't want to lose these for the length of time you have a car seat in place. Some manufacturers put those on hinges, others have them as completely removable. Coming to me, I have got plenty of headroom. I'm very comfortable back here. The seats do fold, but they don't recline. It's got a nice pitch to it. I'm very comfortable back here. I could ride across the entire state of Texas back here. It is a very nice back seat. No complaints whatsoever. But let's actually get behind the wheel and talk about how it drives. So yes, incredible styling inside and out. I think Chevrolet has absolutely knocked it out of the park with their designs lately. This being wider than the outgoing model and boxier than the outgoing model, it looks more masculine than the outgoing model, and it fits in line with what consumers have been shopping lately. Just look at the popularity of the even smaller Ford Bronco Sport. Boxy styling, but people seem to really love it. So Chevrolet has borrowed from their boxier, bigger crossovers and body-on-frame SUVs to give us this guy, which I really like. Again, all the amenities in here, very nice, very upscale, including my rear view camera. I really like what Chevrolet does against what some of their competitors do with the cameras. I can access the cameras while in motion, they stay on, and I can look at all my different camera views while in motion. So I can see my front tires, my back tires, whatever the case may be. I can see that all while still in motion. Though yes, keep your eyes on the road. Follow the road with your eyeballs, not on a screen, but it is nice for certain situations when that comes in handy. They don't cut off on you when you have had them on too long or are going too fast for the corporate lawyers. So that is one big plus over the competition from Toyota. Otherwise, in here, very comfortable interior, very comfortable seats, very good driving position. I can see out of it very nicely. The visibility is very good. Again, rear view camera mirror helps immensely there. Though I will say those headrests obscure that third window back there, but the windows are nice and big, which I really like. The ride in this, much like the seats, very comfortable. Not overly soft, so I'm not floating. It is well damped that it is not uncomfortable. Yes, it does communicate a little bit of road noise, which we will see as we get out here at speed once this F-150 passes me by. And we'll see exactly what this is like under acceleration. We'll break those tires loose, but okay, with the CVT, yes, you get a little engine drone from that 4-cylinder Ecotec under the hood, but it's exactly what I would expect in this class, in this segment. Nothing really surprises me getting this one out on the road. I do get a little wind noise. Again, it's a boxier design. I do get a little road noise. Again, it's under $40,000, as this one sits under $35,000. So I know prices have gotten out of hand lately. My old man nature is like, $33,000 for this. But really, in today's marketplace, $33,000 for all this equipment is quite the steal and quite a good option here in the segment. As we turn once again and pull out into traffic, yeah, a little bit of road noise communicated from those 17-inch wheels and tires out there, but generally a very nice, very comfortable ride. Steering is well weighted, not too heavy. It is everything you would expect in the best-selling crossover from Chevrolet. Over 3 million of these sold, and I can absolutely see why. This is a very solid entry into the segment, and depending on your wants and needs, and maybe your desires for a more sporty, athletic interior, may be worth cross-shopping against the sales leaders of Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and the newcomers from Hyundai with their Tucson and Kia with their Sportage. This interior really kind of has me second guessing my love for the nearly $40,000 top trim of the Tucson we last tested, though you will want to hit subscribe because I will be testing a 2025 Tucson here on this channel very shortly. In fact, while we're talking about it, yes, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you are notified whenever a future video drops from us. Find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, thanks to Pedestrian Chevrolet here in Kilgore, Texas, I'm going to drive this just a little bit more, get my feel of brand new Chevrolet. And if you want to make this one yours, absolutely come see Drew here at Pedestrian Chevrolet in Kilgore. Until next time, gearheads, bye. Little bit of road noise. Little bit of road noise. Little bit.